Yeah, we'll do. Everybody say the funny thing you just said, quick.
Oh man, you guys remember that time I said, "Man, that Weird Al song really milks my cereal."
I do.
That was me.
Yeah, I remember.
I did that. I said that.
You did, yeah.
I came up with the funny. I stole from
Chris, that's a really funny line. That's hey, I don't.
what a good line that no one else came up. Look, if I put my hand right here, it fixes the lighting. I'm gonna apologize to everyone for my lighting prematurely. Apparently, one of my light bulbs, oh man, I'm like redlining it a little bit. Hang on. Okay, one of my light bulbs, long time ago, dimmed out, and I just keep forgetting to replace it. You can kind of see it now in the streams I've been doing. One of them went out like this morning, and I don't know why. They're brand fucking new. I'm so fucking angry about it. So I had to actually open the blackout curtains. So that's like, this is the sun going through my window at like 6 p.m. PST.
Ooh.
So, which is why I usually have curtains, because it gets hot as fuck in here.
You're gonna have such nice natural lighting for the full podcast. Like it's gonna be.
No, because my face looks like it's about to ascend.
He's been raptured up.
Yeah,
he's been.
Everything else looks super well lit. It's just maybe if I do this with my hand, if I just keep that up
there you
the
go,
entire
right there.
time.
Perfect.
Anyway, that really milks my cereal. I don't know about you guys, but like,
yeah.
Make sure I don't do a Hitler salute, and we are good. And then,
so when we do our favorite things of 2024, am I allowed to put Weird Al, or does it have to be things?
No, it has to be from 2024. Remember, we established that, or it has to be the release date of that year we talked about.
Oh,
well, the thing we just
you know what? Hang on,
please.
We should set some rules like off.
I was about to say
it was getting close because we still have the Skinamarink fiasco.
Yes,
the Stinky Marink.
Even though it did have an early release, its official release, its official wide release was the year we were talking about. So I stand by my thing. And
someone's in the wrong.
So we should, especially if we're gonna be watching like indie stuff. That do you count the first festival?
Oh god,
Inuo. I just found this out. That anime movie by Yuasa, me and Nick really like. Premiered in Italy before Japan at a festival, 2016, and then premiered officially in 2017. Do you count the one-time Italy viewing, or do you count the wide release in Japan?
I think that we had gone by wide release. That was what we had established for what we got at. That's our rule.
Which is why I got away with Skinamarink. But like, we can set official rules for the end of the year. We got like 5 fucking months to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll set that up. We'll talk about it. Then we'll, at the beginning of that podcast, we'll say, here are the criteria. We didn't think we need rules, but here we are. And the thing about being an adult is thinking you don't need rules and then realizing you actually crave them because you're fucking broken. And
you're a lost child.
You're a lost child, and you want other people to play in the same playground.
Yeah, you have to be your own parent, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what Kurt taught me.
That's what God taught me.
Speaking of rules, do you know who follows them and did everything right? Weird Al in this movie.
He sure did.
He did everything correct for music stardom.
And
I just want to say, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just want to say, I'm really happy you guys finally came around and watched this movie that I've been talking about ever since it released.
Well, so my only delay, truthfully, was getting my hands on the thing, because for a long time you could only see it at Roku, I believe.
Tubi, yeah.
Tubi.
For free, I might add, with ads.
For free.
With ads,
but you know, it's a whole to do.
It's free app.
But yes, you're right. It was
I didn't have to sign in. I don't know where you're coming from, Ian.
I in fact did have to make an account and sign in to watch.
Oh, did you really? Okay. Maybe I did. And I just don't remember.
That's the
only
reason.
I think I didn't do it because I had watched Bill and Ted 3 on there, and I think that was also
okay.
a movie that people should watch if you want a feel good music movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so you watched it on Tubi?
I did. I watched it on Tubi. I indeed did. Yeah.
I think we did too. I know Nick did. So I've seen the movie twice. I've seen it once by myself when it came out, and then I tried to get other people. No one else did. I even tried. I did the fun thing, depending on how you view this, or the evil thing, depending on how you view this. Either way, it was probably morally gray. But I would tell people it's a true documentary. It's a true biopic.
Yes.
And I would sell it by going, it's mainly about his affair with Madonna.
Love that.
And then people would go,
really?
He dated Madonna? I went, yeah, you weren't. This was back in the '90s, so you gotta go watch it. That was a while ago.
I don't know if you gave me this because I will say, coming into it beforehand, it definitely colored the way I watched the movie. And we'll talk more about the story and stuff, but there's a point in this movie where the story pivots, let's say. And I kept...
Where do you think the movie's going to end?
Well, yeah, I weirdly thought that at some point we're going to rejoin the timeline. Do you know what I mean? Like, and maybe that's like the inferior, like other people's version of this movie would have been...
Mm-hmm.
The movie, like the first 30 minutes, we'll talk about that. But then that turn. But like, I think a lesser filmmaker would have been like, oh, no, we do have to eventually get back to the main idea of his life and career or whatever. And this movie just said, nah, fuck that. No. We're doing jokes.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing all the jokes.
We're doing all the bits.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We can get right into what we knew before going in, everything we knew about the piece for Rising Action. Sure. Because Ian, so I want to go back to that. Did you know, like, well, you know, did you know it was going to be a like satire, not satire, fucking, I guess parody? It's a lie. It's a fictional.
It's a trick. It's a trick, is what it is. Yeah. So
it's a twist on the truth, because there are things in there that are true.
There are things in there which did happen, but not necessarily that way and not necessarily in that order. And I mean, that's true of all biopics, but...
like at its core, it sticks to its genre more than you would think.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do the thing of like pretending like to be the truth, or to make you... It does make you feel good because you know what you're getting into for Weird Al, but it's not to be like, you're right to think Elvis is the greatest musician in the world. Here he is flying off to heaven. Because we don't know. That's all I've seen of that movie. Because I was very disappointed to find out it doesn't end with him on the toilet.
That's a wasted opportunity.
It's a wasted. Elvis's famous last words, I think I have to use the bathroom.
You know what? And let me say this, Academy. Hey, Academy, you could have given us Austin Butler dead on a toilet. Thanks a lot.
Can you just imagine the poster? Oh, I'm gonna try it. Maybe I could make one. Where it's the Elvis poster, and just the quote is, "I think I have to use the bathroom."
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. I use the bathroom. Oh my God. Oh.
Or there should be a picture of him lying in bed with another woman and going, okay, you read this part from the Monty Python skit. You're gonna say neat.
Read this part.
And I'm gonna play the knight.
Oh, a hand grenade.
Yeah.
It's real funny, huh?
Needed you, baby.
Finding out that story is true is like the funniest fucking thing in the goddamn world for Ellen.
It looks just like my mother.
Oh, do you not know about that?
Is that a true story about Elvis that he loved?
Yeah, I forgot who confirmed it. You know what? I could be talking out my ass because I don't have the resource, but I feel like I remember reading something that like confirmed it. Where he told the Monty Python guys, hey, one of my favorite things to do is invite women to people who want to go up there, right? Like all consensual.
Right.
But he was so over it that what he would do is either before, like after, after coital, post coital, we're all adults here.
Sure.
But then eventually it became just no. That's all we did. That's all I would end up doing is I would give him a script and
Monty
it would be
Python bits
Monty
would go.
Python sketches. I think like Life of Brian was like his favorite one, or like fucking some shit. And he would give him scripts, and you go, "Okay, you read this part. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read this.
You
read all
be the
my.
girl."
It's so fucking funny to me.
That's very funny.
Always look on the bright side, baby.
Oh my god!
A man who some would argue invented a sex icon in rock and roll.
Well, the first
just being so over it that he wanted Monty Python. And he felt so alone that he wanted people to read Monty Python sketches with him.
I'm also I'm also imagining now, like that's late 70s Elvis. That's like paunchy, like
paunchy Vegas
glasses.
Elvis.
Yeah.
Too much. Oh my god, what's it called? Something gold. So the sandwich. It's fucking
fried peanut butter jelly and bacon.
It's a giant roll of bread, slathered in peanut butter and jelly, and then bacon. And he would eat the entire roll.
Jesus Christ!
It's like 3,000 calories per like roll or some shit.
Good lord, that's Southern cooking though. That's comfort. Like
no, that is comfort food.
That's comfort food in the sense that it would make you immediately fall asleep. That would make me fall asleep.
Oh yeah. Anyway, okay, so back to what do you know about the pick beforehand, before watching Weird the Al Yankovic story?
I had watched a scene of Al freestyling against Wolfman Jack, the pool party scene. I watched.
He's not freestyling. That's a real song.
Yeah, but I mean, in the context, it's in the context
it's off the
of
dome
movie.
It's off the dome. It's
off the dome. Yes. Anyway, so we watched that scene, and it's a great scene. We'll talk more about it later. But so I had seen that one, and my mom, who was in LA at the time, was like, "Yeah, those are all famous LA people. They were probably there."
Oh yeah, Wolfman Jack. Okay, you know how I know about Wolfman Jack? Famous radio host Wolfman Jack. I think he was primarily rock. Is that growing up, before I had the beard, I had like sideburns, or not? Yeah, I had sideburns. They weren't like bushy, but they were long.
Yeah.
Before I just decided to fucking commit, and my mom used to call me Wolfman Jack all the time.
Oh, nice.
So I had to look up who that was. So as soon as he appears in the movie, I'm like, I haven't heard anyone besides my mom talk about who the fuck Wolfman Jack.
He was like an LA DJ, basically.
LA rock DJ, yeah. Famous, big at the time.
Yes.
Like he was like the guy. Like there's like when he's at that party, it's probably like, yeah, he would be at a party like that.
Yeah, he's at a little pool party with what's his face? Pee Wee Herman and Elvira and
Pee Wee Herman, Elvira, Gallagher.
Oh my god, I forgot Gallagher. Yeah, Gallagher.
Fucking what's it called?
Divine from Pink Flamingo.
The dude with Divine from Pink Flamingo. Conan O'Brien's character, which he plays the artist that takes pictures.
Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol, which is great. It's a god awful impression, but it's so funny.
It's just Conan in a sweater with the dyed
doing
hair.
A voice.
It's so good.
Like...
It's so good.
You know who plays Pee Wee Herman in that?
I think it's Yorma from the Lonely Island. Is that
Lonely Island?
It?
Okay, so he did that for free, apparently.
Oh, really?
At least the story, if I'm remembering the story correctly. Because he's a huge two things. One, he's a huge Weird Al fan. He's a huge Pee Wee Herman fan.
Oh, well, perfect. Okay.
And he was like, I forgot what it was, but he went, I can do a great Pee Wee Herman impression if you let me into the movie. Because they knew they were recruiting a bunch of people. Like, because a bunch of comedy people were playing famous, musicians around the time, or music guys.
Yes.
People who would be around that scene. Anyway, so he's like, I can do a great Pee Wee Herman. So he came in and he just did that bit and had it ready. He was dressed up and everything.
Oh, he had that suit. Yorma definitely owns that Pee-wee costume.
And and right down to the hand thing.
Yeah.
And there's Alice Cooper. Yeah, I don't think it's actually Alice Cooper. It looks like someone else.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Alice Cooper's still alive and doing shows. But then there's Zappa and then Devo show up.
That's right. That's
and
right.
then the dude I always mistake for Robbie Ratcliffe from the goddamn comedy troupe. Wham City Comedy. But it's not him, it's a different actor who plays the dude who's the main character in the Midnight with the Devil. Anyway.
Oh, yes.
Plays not Brian May. Brian May's the guitarist. So who's the bassist for Queen? Which is hilarious. The joke is no one knows who the bassist for Queen is.
Nobody knows who the bassist. Yeah.
Even though they came up with that riff.
Shoot.
Anyway, okay. So you knew about that scene beforehand?
Yes, that was it. That was really. I mean, and I knew UHF, and I'd listened to Weird Al for a long time. Yeah,
love UHF. I still quote Spatula City.
That might be something we do down the road too.
Yeah,
we might just
That's like a very specific type of humor too. I don't even blame people if they don't find that movie funny.
You really got to be on that wavelength.
Yeah, you got to be on that wavelength. You got to be on just stupidity.
Yeah. Richard Pryor, not Richard Pryor. Richard, crap. The guy who plays the janitor from and he's on Seinfeld. And he
Kramer,
with a mop. Kramer with a mop.
This is before the incident, way before the incident. This is like
many decades. Yes. Yes.
But who knows what was going on beforehand? Anyway, Franz Drescher's in it. She's great.
Wait, yeah, she is.
Yes,
she is.
A news reporter.
Yes.
That might be a movie I'll do at some point. So that's all you knew about going in, right?
Yeah, that's all I knew. What about you guys?
What about you, Nick? Go ahead, because I knew a lot going
in. I mean, in terms of the movie, all I knew was the poster, and that it is not UHF in terms of.
No, it's not
a Weird Al film, and it is a biopic. That's all I knew. I didn't know anyone else besides the poster and just the general gist of it. I knew Weird Al, I listened to him since.
Oh yeah, we're all big Weird Al fans.
Yeah,
we very much are. And Chris, actually, is this the moment where we wanted to bring up the new release really quick for that comment I was going to...
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can talk about it because we just watched Polka Mania.
It's his first...
for naming. Before bad timing with the name. It did come out before a certain incident with the Hulkster. Before it's well, you know what? We all knew, and then it would just people who had been following all the Hulk shit knew, and then now it's oh yeah, he's off the deep end.
Are we talking about the president thing or the?
Yeah, I'm talking about the RNC.
Oh, okay. Everything. I'm about the jury.
Yeah, let's time this podcast. That's what.
Sorry. Just to say, we're all Weird Al fans.
Yeah,
we love his work. I was very excited for Polka Mania to come out as his first medley in a decade.
Yeah.
I was listening to somebody else talking about it, and they gave me a kind of troubling comment. They didn't even think, just in passing, that usually when Weird Al has traditionally done a parody of somebody or done, people mention it. When he did Green Day, when he did Gangsta's Paradise, when he did, all these things, it's somewhat a point of
cool with it.
It's somewhat a point of pride, and it's we always think of it in that context of, was he mad? Nah, he wasn't mad. He was chill with it. But
Coolio was the only one who famously got mad, but that was because of apparently the managers had gone to wires crossed or something, and Coolio didn't know about it.
Okay.
But then he became cool with it after.
Yeah, I think most people have very good like experience with Weird Al parroting them.
Yeah,
usually.
Kurt Cobain was like super stoked. Apparently,
I mean, a lot of people are like pumped about. Like, I remember when Gaga got parodied, she was amped for it as well. But anyway,
I'm sorry. You finish what you're saying.
Just to say that in this last one, he parodies Taylor Swift, Maluma. He parodies Billie Eilish. None of the featured artists have made any comment one way or the other, and that just made me bummed. That a little bit. Like, really, Billy? Not even like you're.
Do they even know who Weird Al is?
That was what John said basically afterward. Is he's of a different time perhaps at this point, and I'm like, no, I refuse to accept this. I pushed him down and ran away.
Ian, we were at the tail end.
Yeah.
In theory, we shouldn't have known who Weird Al was. We just happen to all be comedy and music nerds, and that just overlaps.
We also, I think, have all of us connections to the physical, like Norwalk. Like we've all like he grew up there, and we all didn't grow up there, but we probably know a thing about it. Like,
I don't think he's played a show at that, but he's played at the. Not to give too much away, because you can find out on public records that OC, like Fairgrounds, that little amphitheater, he used to do one like all the time there.
Oh,
I don't think he has recently though. Should have seen it when I had the chance. I did see him once, and he was a surprise guest. He was a surprise guest at this comedy show I went to in college. Friend at the time, because we are not friends now, won tickets to it, and we both went. It was my first time at any kind of event there. It was a little overwhelming, but I mean, like, I had a great time. I watched. It was like Sarah Silver. It was Hilarity for Charity.
Wow,
it was like a thing Seth Rogen does to raise money.
Yeah.
So it was like Sarah Silver, who I was so fucking stoked to see, Sarah Silverman, and I got to watch her bomb on stage because it's a crowd of rich people, except for the radio listeners who are sitting in the front. And it was a point where I was like, I was dying of laughter. I thought it was like the funniest fucking set I've ever seen, and then no one was having it because she was doing her bit of like, right? Oh yeah, there's something hilarious. She literally, as she walked off, she was putting the mic back, and I think she looked at me and went, "Well, at least you were laughing," and then walked away. But that made me feel a little bad. Like, it made me feel like, oh, should I? Maybe it would have been better if I wasn't laughing. Maybe it's better.
You really got under Sarah's skin. She was like, "Wow, the crowd hated me, and that one bitch was
motherfucker was me." I legitimately, this is the I don't know if she does this joke anymore. She was doing crowd work, and maybe that's you know what, I don't know enough about. I've never done stand-up as much as I've watched. I've never done enough stand-up comedy to know like the ins and outs. But she was doing crowd work, and she was trying to find someone who was like a devout Christian, and these are devout rich Christians. Sure, and she found a guy, and she was like, "Would you let God brick in your mouth?" And I couldn't stop fucking laughing. I thought it was because if you knew me at the time, that's like, oh, that is 100% Chris's humor.
That's the best. Yeah.
I was fucking dying. And then Craig Robinson's band played there. Joseph Gordon-Levitt did a cover of "I'm Just a Girl," and people don't believe me when I say that, but no, that's what he did. And then Weird Al played a song. I totally forget what fucking song it was. It was a brand new one at the time. And he was like walking on tables, but he was away from me, so I didn't get to
touch the hem of his garment.
Yeah. And then Bill Burr came out and just laid into all the rich people, because I think he saw the Sarah Silverman thing.
Right.
The hindsight's 2020. Who knows what actually happened? But Bill Burr is like, yeah, we should all be. How is no one just running into the hills, into your houses up there, and just slitting your throats? And again, dying. I was dying. I had a great time. Then Boyz II Men came out and did
Holy
a
shit.
song. And by then I was kind of like, I was kind of overwhelmed with the crowd. I still wasn't used to that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I was kind of in the back for that. And I was like, that's Boyz II Men. I saw Boyz II Men. And then
There you go.
There you go. I did it. No one can say I didn't. That night was a fever dream.
It sounds like it. Oh my god!
But that was the one time I saw Weird Al. Oh my god, what were we talking, Nick? That was everything you knew about just the general concept of the movie, right?
Yes.
Before it. Okay, so what I knew about the movie before it.
I'm gonna smile and nod.
Here's me talking again, taking control. Because I just love Weird Al, and this is my podcast, and no one else can talk. Anyway,
quick podcast, quick episode.
Quick in
and out.
What did I know? Okay, so this movie was based off a Funny or Die skit. Skit. I don't know if you guys knew that, like an old one of the like originals, where it was a trailer for this movie that would eventually be made. And it was like Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al, and it was supposed to be a super serious, super like straight biopic. But it's all Weird Al, like so played super straight.
Yeah.
I forgot who played. I think it was Patton Oswalt who played Dr. Demento in that video. But it was just little scenes from there, and then they eventually, made the movie like 10 or more years later.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers Funny or Die.
I mean, Funny or Die was before Prop 8, so that's definitely like 2007, 2006, maybe. Like a while.
Prop 8?
Yeah, because I remember Funny or Die did a comedy sketch advocating how shitty Prop 8 was with like a bunch of comics.
I think I remember that too.
If you're not Californian, we banned gay marriage shortly after we made it legal, and then we undid it like 6 years later. Anyway.
God, yeah. That was so long ago. No, you're right. That is important history. But that is funny that you remember it as the skit first.
That's where it's locked in here.
So that way you can never get caught. No one can catch you. Yeah, you associate it with something.
Not my deep love of when we finally stopped them. We almost anyway. That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. So I knew it from that. I knew it was going to be based off that. I knew it was going to be played like that, so I was super excited. I knew Daniel Radcliffe was going to be in there. So I mean, and I'm a huge Weird Al fan, so I was like, all right, day one, as soon as it's on streaming services, I'm watching, and I did, and it's good. So we can get into the movie.
Yes, please.
In the climax. So,
I hate it.
Nick didn't like
dog shit. I can't believe we had to.
I was waiting. I was trying to avoid this part of the podcast a little. Nick, why didn't you like it?
It was a lie.
Oh,
it was make pretend. It was not true.
You know, acting is the greatest lie, according to someone. I forget who. Yeah. Someone wrote that.
Probably God.
Yeah. You know, Nick, stories are lies.
Stories are lies. You know. Did you know Romeo and Juliet not real? Yeah. Pretend. Oh my god.
Can you believe that? Can you believe hearing a story? Like, because that was a thing. Where, like, hearing a story and people would believe it just automatically. Especially if it has production.
Never happened.
No, I know it happens now, but I mean, like, still, to some crazy degree, to a degree that's, like, way less than I'm, like, probably...
explicable.
Yeah, less explicable, but still pretty disturbing. Still enough to keep you awake a little bit at night. But like at the when plays like Shakespeare time, right, where people would just go, yeah, that shit really happened, man. Or like Midsummer. The Greeks be like, yeah, no, that's history.
Yeah,
what are y'all on?
Apollo really did drag this. Wake up, kids!
Wake up now! Excuse me, I'm gonna put my newborn baby out in the field to be eaten by pigs so that we can get a good harvest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna put out this idea. We can talk about it later because this is gonna derail the podcast super hard.
Okay.
As someone who had to study a lot of Greek history and literature stuff in college, and to my professor's credit, none of them were like this. While they were fascinated with it, they were really good at calling out shit. But talking to students who worshipped Greek stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
And and just that bugging the shit out of me. Where so like my line of like, yeah, and they would leave newborn babies out to die, just for the hell of it, or just for a good harvest. I didn't originally come up with that. That was a professor of mine who, from a dude, because the dude was really praising the Greeks or some shit, like in literature.
Right.
It's like, oh, they invented this, this, and this, and then, there you go. Yeah, but they also thought that, like, and they would do that and just shut the guy up real quick.
Yes.
Because it was such a visceral thing, and I thought it was funny. But anyway, this is just to say, I hate those people who worship that shit.
Yeah.
And I have a real beef with that. But you do you, boo.
Man, if you want to live your, ancient Greco fantasy, man, like, I get that, but keep it at home. Keep that where I don't have to see it. And that's why I'm passing prop. No, anyway, sorry.
Ian, remind me that story too. Like, bring up that Greek story to me, because there's like specific questions I want to ask you about, because it was from a very specific kind of dude, and I kind of get what was going on. But it does pertain to you for certain reasons. But yeah, anyway, movie.
Can you ask me? Oh,
I could, but I don't think you'll have an answer, Nick.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, the movie.
This movie? Yeah. How about that movie, guys?
Well, good.
Let's start with this. I'd say the first 20 or 30 minutes, maybe, you could say, yeah, some of that probably happened. Most of that stuff sounds plausible. Like,
I know he had those magazines in that book of accordion lessons.
Yes.
And maybe he played an accordion at a party once, but I thought it was hilarious to frame that like as like a drug.
Oh yeah, you're doing accordion at the party.
You're doing accordion at the party. And the guy from Reno 911 getting beat up by his dad.
Oh my god!
And a really prolonged scene. And it's one thing, like, because like a lot of the times in movies when the joke is and then they fought, it's never like, it doesn't usually hit it for me unless you do like a real cool spin on it or like a twist. I don't know why I found this one so funny.
I want to give credit to that actor who plays the door-to-door accordion salesman.
The dude from Reno 911, I always forget his name.
Toby Huss.
Yeah.
He was a regular on Reno as like a meth guy. He was on my childhood favorite show, Pete and Pete, back in the 90s as a wild character in that as well. Toby Huss, super funny guy. I highly recommend people to go out and check out his body of work. He's really funny. He's Khan in the original King of the Hill.
Shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah. How about that, guys?
Yeah. So he gets. So there's the whole thing of like, you can't have an accordion. You can't have for reasons that we don't know, other than his father is a tyrant.
An asshole.
Just an ass. Yeah, straight up fucking asshole. And will not let Weird Al or just regular Al play with an accordion because he must work and grow up to work in the factory. Even though he hates working in the factory. It's not clear
what they make. Yeah.
No, it's the factory.
Yeah, it's the factory. It's got sparks and people get dismembered sometimes.
Yeah. It's even funnier because when he's telling him to work in the factory, it's right after he talks about another dude dying.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Nick. Were you going to say something?
No, I just said
The Factory.
The classic Factory. So what's the and so then we meet his. What's the inspiration? It's the first scene is when he does My Bologna. Is that right? That's the kind of the first.
Yeah, so he's in college. He finally gets to explore himself, and he's living with like 4 other dudes, or 3 other dudes in an apartment who all happen to, as we later find out, play instruments and become his backup band. Which I think some of that's based on true shit. Where like he's been playing with the same guy since college. Like I think the guitarist is that. The guitarist and the drummer are that.
Right.
That he uses regularly. But yeah, he's just trying to figure out what his song's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And he figures out he's gonna do parodies after staring at a piece of bologna
for a very long time.
Well,
My Sharona is on in the background.
Well, My Sharona goes on loop on the radio.
Yeah, over and over. That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So then he finally starts playing it, and it's like the muses are playing through him, and it's just Weird Al's voice going through Daniel Radcliffe.
That is very funny choice that they made. I like that the parodies connect to whoever hears them immediately, because I was put in mind of. Did you guys see a movie from maybe 4 years ago called Yesterday? About
No, I know what you're talking about. It's the one where it's that movie where he's like, hey, I don't fucking know. He goes to a different universe where the Beatles don't exist.
Basically, and then he takes credit for their whole body of work in 2022 or whatever. Yeah.
I heard that movie. There's a writer I follow, Dan O'Brien. He loves that director, and apparently he was saying like, and I was so excited to watch it, and that movie is so boring and predictable, and it ends so poorly that it made me want to watch it just because of that vitriolic reaction. Because I'm like, oh, that's probably some like schlock that I would get a kick out of.
He's absolutely right in saying that it's a very formulaic movie, but at the end of it I was like, okay, that was, you know what I mean? Like I didn't hate it. I was like, it was what it was aiming to be. But all of that to say that when the dude,
maybe that's where disappointment comes from.
Yeah, it's not. It isn't pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
But when that dude plays Yesterday or whatever, any Beatles song in that movie, people look at him like he's like uncovering diamonds with the guitar. Like, oh my fucking god, Yesterday, holy shit, this changes everything. And I love that Weird Al, they go with that. That's the reaction that the biopic needs. Is, oh my god, this is the Rocky Road. That's the fucking funniest thing.
Oh, he's at the biker bar.
Heard. Yeah.
After failing the audition for that punk band.
Oh man.
Playing the accordion, and he's playing like a sick ass riff on the accordion too, or something.
Yeah.
It's Patton Oswalt who's like yelling shit on the fucking thing. Oh, and thank God Dr. Demento just happened to be at that. At that bar. It's so great. Yeah, it's such the biopic thing of just everything aligned. Everything just lucked.
Everything happened for a reason, guys. Well, let me ask you about Dr. Demento, gang. And maybe this isn't a movie where I'm like, oh, performances, but he was funny. I thought Rainn Wilson was really funny in this part.
I did too. There's bits where I'm like, he's kind of just playing him like we've seen this version of Rainn Wilson before.
Yeah.
And then there's like certain scenes where I'm like, nah, that's the reason they went with it. That's really funny. Particularly like if we skip all the way to the end, that bit where he tries to adopt him. And the way he plays is so sincere.
It's really fantastic. It's really well done. I was gonna say the standout for me was him eating nachos in a bathtub, giving him LSD or whatever.
Yeah, LSD in the guac.
There's LSD in the guac. Oh my god! It's so it's very good. What about you, Nick? What was a performance? Or it doesn't have to be Rainn Wilson, but that like connected with you.
I mean, oh man, God, there's just so much because like I mean, Daniel Radcliffe's alone as Weird Al is such a
10 out of 10. He deserves an Oscar for that.
I have to agree because
he goes through so many emotions in that fucking movie.
He really does.
And like you're almost fooled, like to thinking that like this is a real emotion that Weird Al felt once about his dad with one hand.
Yeah.
And yeah, just I oh man, him for sure. Ryan Wilson's it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Madonna, the way they.
I forget who plays Madonna, but she kills it as well.
Looking right now, it's Evan Rachel Woods.
Evan Rachel Woods. Yeah, she's fantastic in that movie. Like, oh my god, her Madonna is fucking killer. As also like the sociopath trying to manipulate.
Just a ruthless shark of a person. Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, and just trying to get the Weird Al bump.
Trying to get that Weird Al bump because he then so this is the part of the let's mention the part of the movie where I kind of had to shift expectations maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Wherein the movie asserts no, Eat It came first.
Yeah.
It is the original when Weird Al decided
it tells the truth.
It tells the truth. It tells the truth, which is Michael Jackson bites Weird Al.
That I love that bit. Oh, I love even though I'm not big on like drug trips in movies because a lot of the joke is just, whoa, he got, especially in comedies, the joke is he got real high and is saying a bunch of stuff. Woo! But I do like it all leading up to like utilizing those visuals to him hatching out of an egg and playing the Beat It guitar riff.
Yes. Yeah.
I did enjoy that. So there's like there is stuff in this movie that's like comedy tropes, especially in movies, comedy movies. But like I don't know, they're done well. Like I found them funny.
No, I agree. And so this is just to say this is a point in the movie where if this was yesterday, if this was the comedy version of yesterday, the movie in my mind would have pivoted through Act 2 and done like a bunch of crazy stuff to then in Act 3 come back to the end of the 80s, the beginning of the 90s and be like, and then he started doing gangster rap and it was more or less paralleling the career again. Whereas instead the movie at that pivot point says, I'm running away from anything resembling reality in any way, shape, or form. And I kept and I mean, just to say, I think I had to watch it again afterward because I was like, okay, when is it gonna start? Oh no, okay, they're doubling down. He's a drug kingpin. Okay, and then
No, this movie really is just a long. It's very much so. The greatest lie is twisted with truth.
Yes.
Or is based in truth.
Yeah.
Like. Absolutely, because you do believe some of the shit. Because some of the shit does happen. Like, okay, we go back to a celebrity. Just again that thing in comedy movies where they get a bunch of celebrities to cameo. But luckily, they still made the scene funny, which is where, because a lot of times when movies do that, it fucking sucks.
Yeah,
and it feels like filler. Like I'm looking at Anchorman 2,
where
they take one of the better
classic bits,
one of the better scenes of the Anchorman 1, and it's like not as good. Just all across the board.
It's bigger, but it's less funny. Yeah,
it's less funny. Kanye is
in
there. That's crazy. With only like the good joke that I can remember is the Canadian news team.
Oh, who are very polite.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the History Channel having a Minotaur and the ghost of Robert.
That was okay. You're right. That's the best one.
That's pretty good.
That's the best one because none of them were celebrities except Joseph Riley, Joseph Sierra, playing the ghost of Stonewall Jackson.
Yeah.
That's the best one. I still quote, "There's a mint julep waiting for you on the other side."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, even in that, like, they play my favorite song, which is Another One Rides the Bus. That was like my favorite one as a kid,
Sure.
or like in high school and stuff.
Mhm.
With a great just from that guy. I forget who. It's his friend, but it's the dude I pointed out to Nick where I went, look, that dude has like serial killer eyes, or he has like shark eyes.
Shark eyes.
All black and lifeless like.
And again, this is no like, I'm not at all to do with his acting because he's playing his character really great.
Yeah.
Spencer Treat Clark is the name, but he has like dead eyes. Oh, he's in horror movies. Well, there you go.
Oh,
and he's in Gladiator. What the fuck? It's crazy.
Oh.
He's gonna be in Gladiator too. Oh, whatever. That's cool. He's a great actor, but those eyes, I couldn't stop looking at him. Sorry. So even in that scene, it's done well. Like,
oh no, I think that everybody commits to the bet just right. Everybody's on the same page, working towards. Okay, what's the next funny thing? But
yeah, this is ridiculous stuff where we're playing it as straight as possible.
And I'd say that it at least has the consistency of the characters being consistent. That's what I'll say. Like, it's not a movie that is joke in the sake of. I don't want to crudely compare it to something. I was going to negatively compare. Yeah. It's not Family Guy. It's not. People will say anything that makes the joke work in this moment. Yeah, people have.
Then there is room. There are places to do that where you're like, yeah, you can totally break the character just for the joke. That can work in certain situations. Right. But not in this where you got to play everything straight and it has, because it's that thing of you have to believe it. Yes. You have to. The joke does not work unless everyone in this world believes what's happening.
How serious, how earnest, how real the feeling is. Yeah.
Polka is the number one thing among the youth in this world.
Yeah.
So much so that they must have secret shows.
Where if the cops come, they've got a siren just in case. Oh, man. What other kind of scenes stood out to you guys? We've talked about the trip scene. We've talked about a lot of the opening. Do we want to touch on any of the Madonna stuff? Or
so when he gets Beat It, we skip the part where he meets the record producer, which is Weird Al.
Yes.
I forgot. I know what sorry. One last thing. Still on the celebrity scene. One last thing I forgot to mention. And the one thing I want to bring up is the piece of truth that is in there, but twisted. Is the basis for Queen offers Weird Al to open up for them in Rite Aid.
Mm-hmm.
So Weird Al did open up for Queen at Rite Aid.
Really?
Yeah, they loved him. Like I don't remember. I don't think he played well with that. Like the audience dug it too much.
Real but Sarah Queen Silverman moment.
Fucking loved them. Loved Weird Al. No, it's very. You know what it is, dude? I got a more contemporary. Remember that Eurobeat duo where they had that song that came out last year? It's 1 year, by the way. This is why I was just reminded about this. Where it's like, "Women Are My Favorite Guy," and it was a famous Eurobeat. It was that Eurobeat track that got like big and blew up because it's 2000s. So the Jonas Brothers got them to open up for them, like on their reunion, on their like big tour that happened that year. And people in the crowd did not fucking know who that was because as they found out very harshly, is not everyone's terminally online.
Right.
And like, especially Jonas Brothers fans who have grown up. So people did not fucking know what was going on when that Eurobeat duo came out.
I kind of love that, truthfully.
Which is awesome, but that must have sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that did happen. He did open up for them and write it, but again, that's taking that truth and like fucking with it and being like,
Taking
no,
it on
he's
the
bigger
walk.
than Queen in this. In
Way bigger.
this world.
In this polka-based world.
Yeah.
Let me throw out some other names here. I'm looking at the cast I wanted to mention. Quinta Brunson from Abbott Elementary. She plays Oprah Winfrey.
Yes.
In this picture.
She does. Okay.
Oh man. You remember the Oprah scene? I'm trying to remember when he was on. What I don't remember. I remember her in it.
I think it was just Oprah was. Oh no! They were in Weird Al's closet, looking at all his Hawaiian shirts, and he was wearing his platinum records on a chain. That's what that. Wow, that scene just popped right into my head.
There you go. Oh man.
Yeah. So we did that. We get to the second return to the big record exec played by Weird Al, where he cries at how good the Beat It song is, or Eat It. But then he gets screwed over by Michael Jackson coming out with the song right after and ripping him off.
That's
and that great scene of, is it a parody, or it's like, no, he plays it straight. It's about being like tough on streets, or like on the streets or some shit. And like, oh, it's so good.
But I do like that scene. It enunciates the joke in a way that helps the audience. It helped me at least. Of no, I am saying that Weird Al wrote the original song, and that Michael Jackson is parroting it. That is the order that this has happened.
Mm-hmm. Which helps spiral him into drinking along with Madonna.
Madonna is a bad influence on Al.
Yeah. They should have never dated. I don't know. But then we wouldn't have gone like a surgeon. Another one of Weird Al's like greatest songs. Oh, that scene where they like where they first meet, like she just walks into his door. It's so good. They both play it so goddamn well. And you're looking at Daniel Radcliffe, and you knew, and like I knew around the time that Daniel Radcliffe was apparently like shredded.
Right.
I didn't know how much until that scene.
Like Parmesan, man, shredded.
Yeah, and you're like, Jesus Christ, he's dying.
He's so dehydrated.
He probably did that whole like, what's a bottle of wine that you're supposed to drink. Who fucking told me about it? I think I read that. I think it was like a Zac Efron was on like Hot Ones or some shit talking about that.
Oh, like you drink a bottle of wine to dehydrate yourself? So
whole
your
red bottle
of wine.
Bottle of red wine.
Jeez.
Dehydrate. So yeah. Oh yeah. Any shots that you see with like where they're particularly cut, like any especially in Marvel movies, and you see veins, they probably dehydrated themselves like crazy.
Dehydrated themselves, and then what's his face? Joel McHale always says, "Oh, I do push-ups right before the camera goes on. I just gotta, really, really, get that pump going."
Yeah. Get the juices. Feel like the juices are going.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's that scene happens. We get the whole bad influence arc to the point where, Dr. Demento is trying to have a heart-to-heart with Weird Al, and they can't because he's too caught up with Madonna.
Yeah.
Too caught up with Madonna. Madonna wants like a surgeon. She wants that Weird Al bump.
Yeah.
And so he goes on stage. What is it? He overdose. Like, he doesn't overdose. It's no, he's like fucking drunk or something. Like,
he's hammered.
Hammered.
He has an accident, I think, on stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because then he does that fucking like spoken word, like late Billy Joel shit.
Yeah.
Or not Billy Joel. Nick, who's the musician that did that? That was famously.
Who did like the?
Yeah, it was. Okay, I got a pull for you. Do you remember that episode documentary Now, Nick? I showed you specifically where it's all the postmodern post-punk shit.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then they do the spoken word bit, and oh god, you told me who that was. That was a while ago though. So maybe it was Bob Dylan. Fuck it. Whoever it was.
Maybe.
It might have been. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I might have to just see it.
Yeah. Anyway, that part was great.
Yep.
Just everyone knowing what to do. Fucking... Hey, that's how you know you're a good musician, is if you can improvise that shit.
The whole thing is he improvised.
And then they just go to a diner and he's like dying.
Yeah.
After he gets revived by Lin-Manuel Miranda, but like he gets revived. And then they go to the diner.
He's a Hamilton fan. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
He's a Hamilton fan. Oh man. I'm not gonna go into my whole Hamilton thing right now. But why is he saying he's not good? Whatever. Anyway, he's and then he's at the diner and he's dying. He just cheated death, but he is dying, like, again.
Yes. Yeah.
And then there is a point right there too where, like, there's a moment where you go, I don't know what the rest of this movie is.
Yes. Yes,
and then,
exactly.
And then it feels like the movie also doesn't know what the rest of this movie is. But I think they did, and then I'm pretty sure they did, and then they want you to have that feeling before they cut to the action and go off the rails, because Weird Al loves that shit. Yeah, that happened to UHF as well. I don't know if you guys remember that. Right before he does his Stallone parody. Yeah,
I do remember that. Yeah,
but there's that moment of like, I don't know what the rest of this movie is. So it's. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Arturo Castro and playing Pablo Escobar. That's what this movie needs.
Was great. That shit was great. But with and I mentioned earlier how, like, fight scenes have to be done like either really well or crazily for me to really dig them. Yeah. Or for them to be funny, like, you got to give me something new. Mm-hmm. And it worked on me because at that moment of like, you're lost in the, like, where are they gonna go?
Yeah,
type feeling, and it works. The fight scene works, and it's a legit good, well choreographed fight scene.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah. And it goes and gets Madonna from Pablo Escobar, which, by the way, that's like breadcrumb throughout the movie that Pablo Escobar is a huge Weird Al fan.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it's brought up a few times. Yes.
So he goes to Colombia after, overdosing and dying.
Yeah.
And saves Madonna from Pablo Escobar's birthday bash.
But she realizes there's a power vacuum.
There's a power vacuum. And the true color of the villain is revealed.
Yeah.
As she now has access to all of the world's supply of cocaine.
I mean, and the thing is, again, it's also breadcrumbed in the sense that Madonna is portrayed as a blindly ambitious woman who will grab power any which way in this movie. So, good job. Great work.
Great work. Then we get that scene where, he goes back to his parents. He's lost. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. He's going to work at the factory. Yes.
And he kills someone.
Hit the button. I love the lever, then button.
Yeah, lever, button, turn, lever. And then just a straight up, what if I press this button? And then someone dies.
Yep.
And someone's dying while he's talking to his dad.
Yep.
In a very sincere moment. And then you find out the dad's history in a beautifully animated piece of his Amish upbringing.
And we get Amish Paradise,
yeah. Well, no, we find out why he didn't want Weird Al to have the accordion was because he was an accordion player.
Yes.
And he was banished from the Amish. So it only brought him pain, and he didn't want that for his child.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And that kind of flies over Al's head as he comes up with Amish Paradise during that.
Looking at his father's very sad diary buried under the floorboards. Am I remembering that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, as much as he's known for his Nirvana cover, I think that's his best-selling song. Is Amish Paradise, if I remember
Probably so.
correctly.
Yeah.
I'd have to re-look up that. And that's the one famously where, like I mentioned earlier, Coolio was not did not approve of it and was actually very angry. Even though Weird Al was told he was, but apparently it was cross like miscommunication between the managers or something, and Coolio was not not aware. But then he got the Weird Al bump.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, and apparently he liked the cover. So, and so he does that song. He's accepting was it a Grammy?
Yeah, he gets the Grammy for 1985's best song.
Yeah.
Amish Paradise.
And the whole time is you watch this dude walk into the theater and start assembling a rifle in the middle of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Weird Al's actual wife is sitting next to him in that shot. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah,
I did not know that
because I recognized her. I was like, yeah, that's her. As he's assembling the rifle, and you get that great dude. That shot of Madonna in the hat with the eye patch, with the single tear in her eye as she's saying, "Pull the trigger," or take the shot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking good. It's so stupid and funny. Like,
I truthfully did not think that's how they would end the movie.
What are you talking about? Weird Al hasn't been alive ever since he was assassinated.
That's right. Ian.
That's true.
Ian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Nick, you give your version of this.
Okay. So I was saving it because this is like, I will say this is the peak of my experience of this film is what follows after.
Oh, the grave?
The grave, and then after the credit sequence.
The credit sequence is fantastic.
Yeah. Chris was not lying. Not only that, Chris was not lying in the sense like it might be one of the best like moments it might be one of like the highlights of a comedy film because they do such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
And it got me good of they show Weird Al's history and they show these black and white images of like his past actual events happening, right?
Right.
And the whole time, like Chris is in the other room. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna go do something."
I had to use the bathroom.
Yeah, bathroom, whatever.
Yeah.
So this is happening. So he's there. I'm experiencing this for the first time, and then I think what got me, was the setup of me believing the first two images, and then there's one image.
Well, they show him as a child. That's a real one.
As a child. That's a real one. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because there were some like I see before in interviews and like the behind the music growing up, and then fucking it fades into a photo of what appears to be Weird Al hanging right next to David Bowie, in between Mick Jagger and some other celebrities.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, did that really happen?
You would have been like a teenager. That's the brilliant
thing about this movie.
I was trying to like do the math on his age, and as I'm doing the math in my head, fucking it cuts to him being dragged by police shirtless.
Yeah. That scene is so fucking good, dude.
And I'm like, all right. And then it shows him accepting the award and being assassinated. And it's him.
Dude, that shot is so. That was the hardest I laughed throughout the first time I watched it. Was that shot? Yeah, because it's so goofy yet visceral at the same time.
Yeah, it's so much blood.
It's an explosion of blood. Like it's not just a bullet going through him. It's like it's obliterating his body.
Oh, he got tore like a tissue. Yeah,
and it's so fucking visceral. Of just like Daniel Radcliffe's like kind of like goofy grin as he's holding these two awards and dying. It's so fucking funny. If I was Daniel Radcliffe, I would put that photo like I would have that shit framed. And I would also, when I die, I would put that on my like I would have that as a requirement at my funeral that that's the photo they have to use.
That's what they put the wreath on.
Yeah, that's what they put the wreath on.
Oh man.
all to the tune of an amazing new Weird Al song.
Yeah.
That goes with the credits, and the credits are interacting with the song. Yeah. Or like they're syncing up like highlights and stuff as they talk about people.
Yeah.
And then they fake you out and go, that's not even the end of the credits, as they have more shit to show.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, so we can talk about any other scenes in this movie you guys want to talk about before we move on to, you know, the falling action or takeaways.
Takeaways.
Well, any other scenes you want to mention before we move on?
I'm ready. I'm ready for the takeaway. What about you, man? Is there another scene you want to touch on, Nick? Chris?
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Nick?
All right.
Nick?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, then. Falling action. What'd we get out of it? What'd you all get out of it? You watched the Weird the Al Yankovic movie. Mm-hmm. Under duress. From me. What'd you all Ian, what'd you get out of it? What'd you get out of Weird the Al Yankovic movie?
What did I get out of it? I mean, actually, I want to build on what Nick said, because I think that's a big piece of what I got out of it, which is the movie is actually a really successful parody of a biopic in the sense that I think the takeaway I had at the end was I feel like I know less about him now.
I think that was his goal.
I feel more ignorant as to what the fuck actually happened in his life, or like, okay, well, because the idea of a biopic, it is a construction. It's a fake story made out of pieces of true things that happened. Usually, is how it goes. And then this movie, basically, like one of his songs, is like, okay, I'm going to parody what this is and take it to its logical conclusion, which is the first 20 minutes is kind of what happened, and then the rest of it is a fever dream of just bullshit. But very funny. Really funny movie.
Absolutely.
As you say, it different from UHF, but it definitely made me want to rewatch it. What about you guys?
Nick, you go ahead. What'd you get out of it?
I got out of it a biopic about Weird Al and his real life adventures.
Yes.
And really being assassinated before White and Nerdy.
So sad.
So sad he could never make that song.
He can never make that song. All I did was humor Chris and confirm his bias.
Yeah, that's right.
This movie.
That's right.
This movie's great. You're right.
It's like when I made him watch all of the Bill and Ted movies so we can watch Bill and Ted 3.
Good lord.
I like Bill and Ted 3.
I found out he hadn't watched them.
You haven't seen any of the Bill and Teds?
No, you hadn't watched the second one, right?
Okay.
Me?
Yeah, when we watched Bill and Ted 3, wasn't it like you didn't watch the second one?
No, I didn't. I haven't watched the. I never. Oh, I said like I never finished watching the first one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Oh wow, that ending is like
all the time.
Yeah, because that ending is like super memorable and like it's like a feel good.
What a real feel good. You've got like a treasure saved, dude. It's like when someone.
Oh no, he has watched them.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, we watched them before watching Bill and Ted 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But at that time, and that's when I went, what? All right, we're gonna watch, because I was a big Bill and Ted fan.
Yeah, I really like.
Yeah, with two very problematic jokes in those first two movies that they do address.
Hang a lampshade on. Yeah.
I think it's done really well. I think so. Because then it really is like, because that whole movie's about like two guys growing up in the 80s and becoming old and aging out.
Yep.
Which is very much relevant to the time that movie Bill and Ted 3 came out. And realizing kind of like, no, it's okay to be myself and to accept this.
And it's okay that there are younger people doing their own thing, man.
Oh yeah.
You did your thing, and they're gonna do their thing.
They gotta do it. We gotta pave the way for the future. I love Bill and Ted 3. Man, that was a message I needed to hear. Anyway.
That was great.
So that was your takeaway from Weird the Al Yankovic story.
Yeah, it was that you are right, and you
That's
have all the
right.
good taste.
I know the good movies.
Oh wow.
I only recommend bad ones.
Yeah. So what I got out of Weird the Al Yankovic movie was, like I said, the adage of the greatest lie is sprinkled in with truth. Is 100% proven by this movie, because there are true things, like I said, that happen, but then they're not. And to like its credit, even started confusing you guys.
Yeah.
Like, and you guys are Weird Al fans.
I know some things about and so there was enough moments where I thought, okay, that probably happened. That some version of that. I looked it up. By the way, the three dudes in his band, he has known since either 79 or 80.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's true.
So
yeah. I think some of them are like session musicians now, but like, no, he's known them.
Yeah.
They just happen to luck out with, or he lucked out with them, honestly, like, especially for those early songs, why they sound so good.
Yeah, immensely.
Yeah.
I'll say their names really quick here, as they are. Steve J, the bassist. He is an American studio musician. Jim Kimbo West, lead guitarist, has recorded on several tracks with other artists, and John quote Bermuda Schwartz has worked with Dr. Demento and Weird Al since the early 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got that. I got the. What was I about to say? That like, fuck. Okay, so I got the whole like twisting into truth, it's great slide, but that like movies, and not only he pulls off like it's a parody of a biopic, it's a parody of his life. Like, because he has said in like interviews where he's like, my life's not actually that interesting when you look away from the music. Whereas like I didn't do drugs, I didn't like have any crazy affairs with like celebrities and shit.
Not a lot of family drama. I think he's on really good terms with his mom and dad.
He's on good terms with his family. They were very supportive. Which is wild when you're trying to sell what he's selling. And
I
know. And don't know that feeling. When they're very supportive. He's on good terms with all of his family. Good terms with his friends. He's never like done anyone bad, and anytime like even the Coolio thing, that was a misunderstanding. They all like know everything. And he doesn't like, he's a pretty chill dude outside of his like music and stuff. Like he's just kind of goofy, and so he doesn't think it would make a good like biopic or like anything, or even behind the music and shit. Which I think he did do, but like even then it was mostly about like his new projects.
Right.
So he's like, no, if I'm gonna do it, then this is gonna be it. Like it's gonna be a parody. It's gonna be a comedy that I want to do.
Yeah.
He just feels like he got really lucky, like in a lot of spots, and he kind of did, and that's really cool because now we have his like work to address. So yeah, and also that there can be good comedies out there. Like me and Ian have talked about it before on these podcasts, where like Marvel kind of took the spot for comedies for a while.
Yeah.
And there were many coming out, and when they did, like they would flop. We talk about Popstar all the time and how great of a comedy that is. 100% flopped. Like all of Andy Samberg's movies, I think, have flopped. Like which sucks because he has a really good record if you look at them for quality. But
I mean, he's really, really funny. But I think he has a hard time getting marketing, and well, I think also of like sometimes he had another movie that was really funny, but it was promoted so heavily as it's me and Adam Sandler, and it's like nobody wants he's not a hot item to sell. But
but yeah, that they can still happen along with with all of that. And everyone go make music, go make the weird stuff, go do it,
try it.
Yeah. All right. I want to thank y'all for watching Weird the Al Yankovic story. A very good, very just feel good in a weird way. because it's not because it ends in murder. It ends in assassination.
It does.
So it's funny. It's great. It feels good. It feels good to be a Weird Al fan. Okay, so let's get into the denouement, which is anything to check out if you like this. Anything to check out if you like the Weird Al Yankovic story. Any recommendations from you all? I'll go with Ian.
Okay. My first two, I have two recommendations. I'll make quick. If you like a movie that is like kind of silly and rambling, and you don't know where it's going, a classic from 1980, Airplane. I loved Airplane.
Which Weird Al's in?
Is he, dude? What?
Oh, no, I think he's in Weird. It's either Airplane or Airplane 2. Hang on, I'm gonna look that up. You keep going.
It's a silly comedy, and it's a parody of a thriller from the 50s. But it made me laugh, and if you like that kind of silly, random, kind of off the wall, almost Mad Magazine kind of gags, it's a great movie. The other one I'd like to recommend, and maybe it's because I'm still thinking of Divine at the Party, but Serial Mom. There's a movie by John Waters in 1994, I want to say. It's about the kind of prevalence of like killers becoming valorized in the media. That was a big thing, but it is a surreal black comedy, like a pitch dark. Like it's a story about a murderer, but it's very funny. Like there's an old lady that gets beaten to death with a shank of lamb while Annie sings Tomorrow on the TV, and it's one of the funniest scenes I've ever watched. It's very, very funny bludgeoning. What about you guys? What's your recommends?
Nick, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go.
Okay, go.
Go watch Guns Akimbo. If you
I still haven't watched it.
To see, if you want to see more of Daniel Radcliffe, just showing just how great he is at just really unique characters as a main character in stories. And just also have another surreal bender of unreliable narrative. Guns Akimbo is, I loved it, but I understand like it's a very love or hate film.
Okay.
I just love it for how unhinged it is. So if you like that, Guns Akimbo.
Sick.
Great pick.
Okay, so I was gonna recommend any Weird Al album. Just go listen to Weird Al music.
Oh, sure, right,
if you like video games, he has a whole Pokemon thing that you can go listen to. And by the way, it was the Naked Gun. It was an Airplane.
Naked Gun. Same director, same writer, though.
Same director, same writer. So it's like same actor. Super. The more or less the same, just different premise. But okay, so the only reason I remember that he was in one of those movies too is because he would tell the story about when that movie was going out at theaters, and he was dating people at the time. He would take his dates to go see Naked Gun in theater, and he would wear the same shirt he's wearing in the movie. Just so when he appears, because they wouldn't know because they wouldn't know who Weird Al was. And then so when he would show up on the screen, his dates will always just like look at that and then look at him. Like,
guys, valuable piece of context. Do you want to tell them what the scene is when Weird Al appears in?
He's coming off the plane. Didn't he just talk to like O.J. Simpson or something?
Well, it's Leslie Nielsen and O.J. Simpson.
Yeah,
something relevant. Yeah.
But it's like a crowd of women with posters with his face cheering for him as he deplanes.
Yeah.
So the idea that he's bringing dates to watch a crowd of women scream at him is very funny. That's great context.
Super fucking funny.
That's very funny.
It's like that prank I want to pull on all my friends where like I want to start applying to be an extra in like movies and shit. And TV because I live in near LA in Hollywood, just so I can like watch a movie or a TV or like TV show with someone, a friend, and go, oh, hang on, I'll be right back, and go to the bathroom and then like appear on screen
in the same clothes.
Yeah, in the same clothes. I've always wanted. I think it would be such a funny, like that. I think it would be hilarious that would be like what I'm trying to do, and not like aspiring to be like a giant actor or anything.
My goal was to do bits.
My goal was to do bits and to just fuck with my friends, who I think are living normal lives, normal and healthy lives. And to bring a level of chaos to
it was a great deal of coordination to get my archaeologist friend on a plane so they could see that movie,
so they could watch that fucking movie. Yeah. It was very expensive. It was a very expensive plane ride. I had to make sure the plane had TV screens. I had to make sure they were showing it.
It had to be a flight over 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Fucking. So what I would recommend, is I kind of mentioned earlier, but Bill and Ted 3, which is another like it's not a biopic, but it's a music comedy. It's a comedy based around movies that's happened, and it's good. It's not, it's not like the most mind blowing thing in the world, but it is like a really funny, fun movie. To watch, with great acting from everyone.
And a great ensemble. It's like great support. Like Kristen Shaw is in it, and lots of other funny people. Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially if you're a music nerd too. There will be good stuff in
it.
Man, also pull another Weird Al cameo. I think you guys would enjoy.
Oh, what's that?
Chris, did you know he's the narrator of the documentary and Scott Pilgrim Takes Off?
No. What?
So when their documentary went on the film set, that's Weird Al.
That's funny.
That's Weird Al? I thought it was fucking... Oh my god, that dude from from Kids in the Hall? That plays the priest in That 70s? I thought that was him. No! He plays...
McDonald?
Yeah, he plays fucking the director. Never mind.
Director,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, he's also great.
Well, if we're just gonna start naming like roles Weird Al was in, he was in Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
As the math wizard.
As a D&D monster.
I think it was literally called the Math Wizard or something. Because the whole episode was about how Dipper wanted to play D&D, but it's a game like with math.
Yes.
And no one in that cast does math except Dipper.
Except him. Yes.
And I'm sure he's in plenty of other things. He's one of those things where his voice will just come up. But I didn't know he was a narrator of the documentary. It's fucking great.
Yeah. He's in BoJack.
He's in BoJack.
I'm sure. Everyone's in BoJack.
Yeah, he's in Close Enough as himself.
Yeah.
I think. Quick, everyone. Run through all of his IMDb.
He was in We Bare Bears.
Yeah.
Billy and Mandy.
Yes.
It's not loading.
I already made my good one, which is Creepball.
He's in The Odd Couple.
He's in The Odd Couple? Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, how can we end
this?
He's in
Batman. Okay.
No. What's your favorite Scott Pilgrim Takes Off episode? Go. Everyone has a different one.
Ooh, that's good. And every fiber of my being is the skateboard one. The film set one.
Same here. The whatever.
United States whatever.
That whole episode is so catered to my specific taste that it's fucking crazy, to the point where the action scene is done by Studio Trigger.
Yeah.
Jesus. And
it's fantastic.
What else do I want from and it's set to the tune of Dead Kennedys? Come fucking on, dude.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, it's probably the last.
The episode right before is really good.
It's good.
The movie one.
Yeah, it's awesome because you get a genuine closure to Ramona's actions with Evil X.
2?
4. Man.
2. Oh no, 4. Yeah, 4. It's 4.
Yeah. God. So there's so many. I just love that show so much. The more I think about it, the more I just appreciate it.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, we got to end the podcast. Everyone go listen to Weird Al.
Go do it.
Bye.
Real quick, all of it.
Bye.